Now, I want to talk about the Supreme Court week. It was a blockbuster week for the Supreme Court.
Sure, absolutely. There's some really big rulings from the U.S. Supreme Court this week. Among them was the ruling about the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, they say, does not have the authority to rule broadly over that coal and gas industry, over the and their authority under the Clean Air Act doesn't enable these bureaucratic system to
They were
create.
essentially making law, correct?
That's what they're saying. That's what the justices said, that you have authority, but you have to run some of these regulatory policies like the Clean Air Act, all of those things that go through it, you have to run it through Congress. That the system exists for a reason, and that the EPA was exhibiting broad overreach in its regulation of the industry. Now, this really is a devastating decision for things like the Green New Deal and Biden's green climate change based policy. So they're saying, Congress has a voice in this, and the Supreme Court would agree with that. Another big one is the Supreme Court's ruling on in favor of the Biden administration against Trump's stay in Mexico policy. That remain in Mexico policy comes the same week. I believe it's the same week as 53 migrants died in a box truck. So there really is, this is a big issue. This is something that I think is going to play a much larger role in 2022, 2024 than a lot of what we're seeing in mainstream media. People are really paying attention to this. So how this policy works is not what the Supreme Court said, look, we can't set the policy. We can only rule on what's in front of us.
But they were ignoring it anyway, weren't they?
I think mostly,
the Biden
yes.
administration.
Yes, they were. And I think that the Supreme Court justices said, this is a policy issue. This isn't for us to tell you what the policy should be. But they did rule on Biden's side in the Remain in Mexico policy itself. Then, of course, there's constitutional protection on praying on the football field for a football coach, Joe Kennedy.
It was voluntary, and he
Yes.
it was a silent prayer, right?
It was a silent prayer. He knelt in the 50-yard line at the football field at a school, and he lost his job. And what they're saying is he wasn't forcing anyone to do it. He wasn't even speaking out loud. This really is being seen as religious freedom advocates as a real victory in a decision for religious freedom.
No, so